All right, well, I'm joined by former Labour Party campaign manager Shane Te Pou. Shane, thank you so much for coming in. Fabulous to see you. Is this an election-winning budget from Labour? Is there enough sweetener in this for voters?
I think there is. I think this is clearly aligned to middle New Zealand. The 23 hours EC for tamariki 2 and under will put $140 back into those whānau pockets. And you know what they do with that medicine? They spend it locally, and that will help stimulate the economy. We've got more investment in infrastructure. Apprenticeships, you know, since 2021, apprenticeships have increased by 63%. There isn't a mechanism that I can think of that can help local business in terms better than in terms of training and upskilling their kaimahi, their workers. So I think it is.
Who are they trying to impress with this budget, do you think, Shane?
I think middle and struggle street, you know, but also trying to GDP debt ratio of about 22%, pretty much the average, and we'll be back in surplus 25-26.
That is a delay though, so that could be a little bit of a tough sell, right? We are going to be in debt for longer, inflation is going to stay higher for longer. What do you think voters will make of that? Will they buy what Labour's selling on that front?
I think that the immediate benefits will outweigh some of the things that do concern sort of middle New Zealand, and of course I think you've got increased bank rates that do affect a lot of particularly homeowners and tenants, but I think overall the picture is one that they'll deliver as much as possible to middle New Zealand and the folks in Struggle Street. And you have to remember, on top of this, in terms of previous announcements, we've had record increases for superannuitants, increases in the minimum wage and beneficiaries, so it's that total package.
You say Struggle Street.
Yeah.
Tell me just how much people are struggling. What are they facing?
They are. You know, food insecurity is a real issue in Aotearoa New Zealand. It has been for some time. Rents are going up. But you know, the answer isn't to give people like me. I'm a landlord. I tell Aotearoa New Zealand that to put more money in my pocket so I can spend an extra week in Europe next year. This is about putting money in the pockets of whānau and people that need it the most.
So certainly a Labour budget then, you think?
It is a Labour budget, and I have a little prediction. I think Labour will get a bit of a bounce as a result of this. I think there's nervousness in particularly in the National Party. There's this talk about Nicola Willis and business Aotearoa saying they need a change of leadership. I reckon this will hasten that.
This will be a bounce for how long? Will it take them through to October for the election?
I'm not sure it'll take them through to the election, but I can say any bounce upwards will worry National Party and their big business supporters. And I think the biggest loser out of this will be Luxon. What we saw today, Luxon, was a garbled speech. I didn't see any vision in this, and I think that his role as the leader of the opposition is in real jeopardy. That's just my little prediction.
Take that as you will. Yeah. Politically, how hard of a budget do you think this was for not only Grant Robertson to deliver, but for Luxon to counter? I think
that Luxon ought to have been ought to have had some vision in saying what the alternatives are, because the message that I get from Luxon is that, you know, landlords are going to be better off, that he's going to lower the taxes for the wealthy. I didn't see an alternative. I didn't see a vision. But probably some of that is due to the fact that ACT will, no doubt, if they're part of the coalition, they will manage the economy going forward, and not so much National.
Yeah, actually on that, ACT has already dropped their alternative budget.
Yes.
Do you think that the Nats should have also dropped one ahead of today?
I think so. I think they should have shown a bit of vision, and they should have shown a bit of agility, and you know, and the like. You know, the other thing that I picked up from this budget is the investment in the gaming industry. You know, I'm in the tech world. Gaming industry is $1 billion plus industry. Whilst they were at it, I reckon Labour should have looked at things like data centres and also building up that infrastructure. We've got more money for apprentices. I reckon coding and coders are like apprenticeships, and I think that's an area that we ought to focus on in the future. The digital economy is our major benefactor going forward. It certainly isn't in cow and cow milk.
Now, this budget was very big on that Cyclone Gabrielle recovery, and also the recovery from the North Island floods. You've told me that your home was impacted quite heavily by that Auckland flood. Are you impressed by this budget? Does that help you financially?
Well, it doesn't help right now, and to be honest, I don't need a lot of financial help, but my whānau in Māngere and in West Auckland that were affected from the floods do. Look, we are in the middle of a climate crisis, And if we have new infrastructure that is better built to not only mitigate but to limit the climate crisis, Aotearoa New Zealand is collectively better off. So I think that this is a step in direction. To be fair, whether it was Labour or National, I think it's an imperative that both parties will deliver on, because we have no choice, we have to do it.
So just to get your clear answer on this, you think as a result of this budget that Labour will win the election come October?
I think this is a bounce for the left, and time will only tell. We're still some 5 months out, but I think the bounce in the polls will see quite possibly an end to Luxon as the leader of the opposition. That's the small political prediction I'm making today.
Hot take from you, Shane. We'll wait and see what those polls say. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel to stay up to date with all the latest news from the New Zealand Herald. Click the subscribe button below or check out one of the videos here, and head over to nzherald.co.nz for more details on these stories and more.